The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network. Any questions or concerns about what is said should be directed to the show host, whose information will be provided upon request.
If you're a product of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, or wish that you were, then you'll want to step inside Hip Gypsy Emporium for a trip back in time. We're a kindred spirits treasure trove located in the former Duffield School in Chambersburg. We offer home, garden, and vintage clothing and jewelry, soaps and fragrances, teas and honeys, oils and crystals, products from local vendors and artisans, and Christmas items 365 days a year. Hip Gypsy Emporium, located at 2168 Mont Alto Road in Chambersburg.
Hi, Nicole. I'm live? Okay, I didn't know I was live. So hello everyone, I didn't know I was live. They usually give me a countdown, but missed giving me a countdown this time, but that's okay. So my name is Stacy Niedenthal, and I am a spiritual healer. I am a shaman. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a child of God. And I do this show, Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, as an education for you to understand what a medium is about and what you can do as far as connecting with spirit of loved ones. So have you lost a loved one and you're thinking about trying to reconnect with them? Are you confused or trying to find direction from your angels and your angel guides? Well, a medium can help you do that. But a lot of times we don't exactly know how to get in touch with a medium. We don't know what it's all about. So today's show, I want to talk to you about connecting with the medium and how to go about that and what to expect. So when you, there's always confusion about what mediums do. So how do you find a medium? The best way, in my opinion, to find a medium is to ask friends and family members if they have gone to a medium, if they've seen someone, and get recommendations. And it's one of those things where a lot of people feel like nobody goes to see a medium, or are they really true mediums? Well, when you ask for a referral, when you ask friends and family members and get their response, that'll get you started. So you get a name of a medium. Like if somebody gave you my name, Stacy Niedenthal, go and look on their Facebook page. I have Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. I have a page as well as a group, and there's also a web page. Some mediums also have Twitter accounts, Instagram, but go on their sites and look at the sites. And what I do on my page, there are reviews on the page. So check out the reviews, see what other people are saying about them. And if you've had a reading done by me or with another medium, it really helps a lot if you review that medium so that other people who are getting ready to set an appointment have an idea of what to expect. So go to the review page, read the reviews. In my group page, I oftentimes will do live angel card readings, or I have, like I'm streaming live right now just to talk to you about what I do. It's a good idea to go on and watch them and read what they say. If you feel drawn, set an appointment. I know it can be a scary thing because it's that fear of the unknown if you've never gone before, but set the appointment. Here's the thing that you want to keep in mind. When you set an appointment with a medium, it's not always going to be right away. If you called me today and you wanted an appointment today, I can't help you. I'm totally booked. I'm booked until January, February, the end of January, beginning of February. Know that when your appointment is scheduled, like that is when it's meant to be. I have some people that will call me out of anxiety where, oh my gosh, I need some help with something. If I have an appointment available, I'll set it up. But in most cases, I'm booked. So keep that in mind as well. So if your loved one's birthday is coming up and you want to have a reading on their birthday, make sure you call the medium a couple months in advance of that birthday to set it up, because they may not have that appointment ready. And know that when you set the appointment, in most cases, you need to put a deposit down or prepay. I require all of my appointments that there is a prepayment. That ensures me that you're going to show up, and that also lets me know that you're serious about it. I've had people message me and say, well, I'll call you next week when I'm ready. Well, next week I may not have the appointment available. So if you want to schedule the appointment, you have to put a deposit down, and I put you in my books. So how I do things, when you set the appointment, I take your name and your date of birth, just the month and the day. Because a half hour before you come to see me, I start meditating on your spirit. I want to be able to connect with your spirit so that spirit comes through. And when I do, I ask God, I ask spirit, I ask angels, I ask my guides to help me to deliver the most loving message for you. I open up all of my chakras and I meditate. So your appointment with me, if you set a 10 o'clock appointment with me, that appointment actually starts at 9:30 just with me so that I can connect with you. Once I meditate on your name and I connect with spirit, I pull a medicine card on you. And there are all different types of angel cards, oracle cards, medicine cards, tarot cards. Me, myself personally, I use medicine cards and I use angel cards. I've got several decks that are over here, but there are ones that I like to use in particular. So when I pull the medicine card on you, this helps me to know kind of where you're at. So let's say I pull the salmon on you. And you know the salmon, it knows that it needs to swim upstream at a certain time of year. It needs to spawn, and it has a plan. So if I pull the salmon on you, it lets me know that you're very goal oriented, that you know where you have to go and the direction that you're going in. It also lets me know that sometimes you fall back, just like the salmon. Sometimes you see them, swimming in the water, and they catch a wave or a rock and they go up in the air and they have to go back to get another path. So it just lets me know that you know what your goal is and you know how to get there. If the salmon is upside down, it lets me know that you've kind of lost your direction. So I do that just so I can kind of connect with your spirit, see where you're at spirit-wise, and it lets me know that I've connected. So I give you that information and I'll say to you, does that resonate with you? So after we do that, then I pull angel cards on you. And I do past, present, future, your path, and your challenge. So when we do that, it lets me know what's been in the past, what is going on right now, what is coming in the future, what the path is, and what the challenge is. Now, I didn't say, and I did want to say earlier, before you go to the medium, when you've set your appointment, how you want to prepare, and I'll come back to the angel cards in a minute because it's like squirrel, and I have to go back to this. So how to prepare for seeing a medium. Talk to your loved ones. Ask them to show up. Whether you're driving in the car, whether you're cleaning, whether you're praying, ask them to show up. Tell them that you want to connect with them. Look at old pictures. Think about old stories. Take pictures. Take items with you. When I do a reading for people, if I'm having a hard time connecting with the person that they want to connect with, I'll ask them if they've brought something with them. Or spirit will say to me, they brought something with them of mine. And just holding it or looking in the eyes of a picture, sometimes that helps me to connect as well. Have questions ready. And when I say have questions ready, please, 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 please do not play Stump the Medium. I had this one person one time that I told her all these different things. Everything clicked with her. And then I said to her, do you have any questions? And she said, well, if this is really my dad, what do I do for him the second Tuesday of each month? I don't know. I told you what your dad's name was. I told you how he passed away. I told you about, but they still wanted to play Stump the Medium. I'm not a party trick, and mediums aren't party tricks. It's that spiritual healing that we strive to help you with. You are going through grief. You want to connect with your loved one. So having questions ready would be things like, I wrote a eulogy. What did they think of the eulogy? Something like that, and then I can connect with them. I had a woman come in a couple weeks ago who had some, not really regret, remorse, anger towards her mom, something that her mom had said to her. And she said to me, I just want my mom to tell me if it's true or not. And that's all she said. And I thought for a little while, and I have different crystals that I use, and Mom left me know that she had in fact lied about a certain thing, and I told her what this thing was, and that it wasn't true. And apparently this lie had torn the family apart, so she wanted to know why she had told her this. So I asked Mom, and Mom had some jealousy issues and didn't want this girl to have so much attention from her grandmother. So she conjured up this lie basically to put a wedge between the relationship. Questions like that, not what's my favorite ice cream, okay? So think about the different questions that you want to ask them. And it's kind of hard to explain what you will experience during the reading. It's hard to explain until you've actually experienced it. And I'm trying to kind of go into detail just to let you know. So like I said, before you come in, I meditate on your name. I pull a medicine card for you, and then I pull angel cards on you. And the angel cards that I pull, they just let me know like what's in your what happened in your past. And I have a couple angel cards here, so I just kind of want to give you an example. So if I pulled answered prayers and it showed up in your past, it lets me know that you've been praying for a particular thing for a very, very long time, and that the angels are recognizing these prayers, and that they're putting the path together for you to keep praying diligently with that, not to give up on it. So that would be a for instance for the past. And then I pull 2 cards for present, and I'm just pulling these right off the top. So for present, if you had meditate and divine timing, so this would let me know that the angels are putting things together for you in divine timing, those things that you're praying for, and they're calling you to continue to meditate on them in the present, like right now. For future, so spiritual growth came up for future. So this lets me know that spiritually, you're letting go of things from your past that is keeping you kind of weighted down. You're connecting with spirit. You are aware that your angels are around you, and it's almost like an awakening that's coming for you. So then for past, or for the path, I have surrender and release, and I have celebrate. You mentioned a deck of cards before the angel cards. Can you repeat the name of previous decks? So I have wisdom cards, I have energy cards, I have hero cards, there are medicine wheel cards, there are shaman cards. So Lynn, there's all different types of cards, oracle, angel, tarot cards. It's what you are comfortable with. I'm live here on my Connecting to Spirit with Stacy and answering questions there as well. So if you're looking at buying an angel card deck, go, like if you come to Hip Gypsy Emporium, we have several decks. Hold them, look at them, see if you feel drawn to them. What I'll tell people sometimes is if you hold them in your hand and just kind of take a deep breath, if this is a good deck for you, like you'll feel the energy pull you forward. Okay, so Nicole, I hope that answers your question. So when we're talking about what your path is, I have surrender and release, and I have celebrate. So they're telling you it's time to surrender and release those things that no longer serve you, and then to celebrate yourself. And then I pull a challenge card. And challenge is focus. And challenge, with focus, that's actually a card that comes up a lot for a challenge. We have so many things on our plates, so many things that we're thinking of, but they're drawing you in. They want you to have focus on things. So instead of looking at 15 different things, focus on one thing at a time. Once that's done, move forward. Now, myself, what I like to do is when I do the angel card draw when you're having a session with me, I like to read it that way, and then I also like to go backwards with it. Not all mediums will do that. So I'll say once you start to focus on things that you've surrendered and released, that's when you'll be able to celebrate the spiritual growth that you're doing, because it is your divine timing during meditation for your prayers to be answered. So the angels are very good with me to let me know where you're at and what you where you're at right now and what you need to work on. Once I do the medicine card and I do the angel card, that's generally when spirit comes through. So for me, I have it set up that when spirit comes through, they pull me to the right. So if you're in a session with me and I'm looking to the right, I'm connecting with spirit. And spirit is anyone who has crossed over, that was of this earth and has crossed over. And my angels, oh, it looks like I have a call. Hold on. Hello, this is Stacy. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, well, whoever called in, I can't hear you. So we're going to hang up. Okay, sorry. I was excited. I got a call. Yes. So line 1. Okay, let's try line 1. Hi, this is Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. My name's Nicole Lynn. You answered a couple questions for me, but I have another question. I just wanted to know how you pull your cards, how you shuffle them. I'm kind of interested and wanted to get some decks, and I just didn't know how you go about feeling the energy from the card that is supposed to be for the person.
Okay. So this is choosing the deck, or how I'm shuffling when I have my client in front of me?
Either way, like it would just be me. It wouldn't be a client, but
Okay.
It would just be me at home kind of, I guess, shuffling or arranging the cards and then pulling what is supposed to be for me.
Okay. So let's say you got a new deck of cards. Okay. I don't know if you're watching as well, but I've got the deck in my hand. So I'm just going to show you kind of what I do. And you want to put your energy in the deck. So when you get a new deck of cards, if you're right-handed, you want to put the deck in your non-predominant hand. So that would be my left hand. And then you just kind of, you knock them. You just knock them.
Okay.
And what that does is that takes out any energy from anyone else. And then you set your intention. So you put your right hand, if you're right-handed, over the deck, and you put your intention in the deck. So with me, I am claiming this deck through love and light. I want to be able to answer the questions for my clients or for myself with clarity. Okay? So you want to put that intention in there, that it's of love and light and through clarity, so that there's no confusion in it. So when you do that, then what I like to do is I like to touch every single card. And as I'm touching the cards and going through them, I'm putting that intention in each and every single card. So I'm just saying it in my head as I'm touching the cards. Okay?
Okay.
So you're putting your energy in the deck as you're touching each card. You're putting your intention through love and light. If you have a particular question, you can also state what your question is. You know, I'm trying to find some direction on my spiritual journey, and I need to have clarity on that. So you go through each and every card as you're touching them, and then you just shuffle the deck. And when I shuffle the deck, if I've got a client in front of me, I'm saying their name, you know, so that I'm putting their energy into it. And then cards will either jump out of the deck, or I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you're watching, but see how when I was shuffling, all of a sudden I felt like I needed to stop. And there's actually 2 cards that are sticking out of the deck. So I would pull those 2 cards out, One is truth and integrity, and one is support. And when I look at the cards, then each deck comes with a book.
Okay.
And until you get to know the deck, read what the book says if it doesn't give you clarity. But
Okay.
what I like to do is I like to look at the card, what pops out the most. So when you see like the support card that I have here, when I pull this lets me know that your angels are supporting you, that they're around you. I know that because
Okay.
I've used this deck for a lot of years. But when I first pulled it, what I saw was the world that's on it. Okay? So it lets me know that the world is supporting you. The universe is supporting you. Like
Okay.
the world is yours to have. You just have to want it and set the intention. And truth and integrity came out with that as well. So when I see that you've got support with truth and integrity, sometimes that support that you get, you may not want to hear those answers. But it's
Right.
that hard look at yourself. It's that hard look at what do I need to do or to change, or am I on the right path? Okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's how you would do that for yourself. What I'm going to
Okay.
tell you as well, you can read 12 different books about one subject. How do I choose an
Right.
angel card deck? How do I shuffle the deck? All of them can be different. What you want to do is go with your gut instincts.
Okay.
That's not going to be wrong. You have to
Gotcha.
trust it. If a card jumps out and you're like, oh, I need to read this card, or oh, that was just an accident, I'll put it back in the deck. But the more you use the deck, the more familiar you'll get with how it feels. Your hands might vibrate, or you might hear stop, or you might feel 3 cards, and you pull 3 cards. Does that answer your questions?
It absolutely did. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your guidance.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, great. That was my very first caller. Yay! Thank you so much for calling in. Continue to call in with your questions. So what we were talking about, I have to pull myself back now. So we were talking about the angel cards and how they work with my readings and how spirit will come through. And when spirit comes through, they come through for me on different levels. So if you're sitting in front of me, I may hear dad, or I may hear father figure. Hello, Elaine. But they'll come through when I see them, like they might be shoulder length. That lets me know husband, wife, brother, sister. If it's a little bit higher, it lets me know father, mother. It all depends on where they come. So until I get totally tuned in, I may not know exactly who's coming through. And when they come through, father may not just be your dad, but it might be father-in-law. When I went to a medium a couple years ago, she said, there's a father figure around you. And I'm like, my father's not passed. And my daughter was like, well, how about Pappy? And I'm like, your Pappy's not passed. And she said, Dad's dad? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So know that the spirit doesn't come through father-in-law, stepfather. It comes through dad figure. They may give me names. They'll take me back to how you passed. So I may get a heaviness on my chest that lets me know that maybe there was a heart issue. They'll give me a pain in the back that tells me that it could be lung cancer. And then they validate it. And how they validate it with me is they'll give me chills, or they'll say, you got it. Or you'll go, oh my gosh, that's so much my dad. So allow the medium to talk to you and to tell you what's coming through, and have conversations with them. You don't want to tell them the whole story. I'll tell my clients, you can ask questions at any time. But while we're in session, if you see me do this, hold that thought for a minute, because someone's saying something to me. Or if I say something to someone and they start to tell me this whole story, I'll say to them, you're telling me too much. I want to hear from spirit. I don't necessarily just want to hear it from you, because then that's not a reading. That's you telling me a story. I want to be able to give you the healing that you need, okay? So allow yourself that allow yourself to be able to have a conversation with the medium. There are clients that will come into me too that don't say a word. And I don't know if I'm right or not. And when I say that, it's that human mind thinking maybe I'm wrong, okay? I know when I'm channeling, they're giving me a message for a reason and I'm not wrong. But for you just to go, yeah, I understand what that is. Okay, then I can continue. So it's one of those things that when spirit comes through, if it doesn't completely make sense, write it down. Ask the medium if you can record the session. Because it can be very overwhelming and you may not exactly remember everything. What I do for my clients, I've got this app on my phone that records it and then I can email it to you. Not only is it the recording, it also like types it up so you can read it as well. What I recommend to my clients is when they're reading it, listen to it at the same time, because you know technology isn't always that great. It doesn't always pull up the word that I'm saying. I had one client call me and she said, I don't understand when it said something about trellis. Once I'm done channeling, I don't remember. So I told her, listen to what the reading was, listen to the audio and make the changing. What the word was truth, but for some reason it heard me say trellis. I probably got off on a tangent talking about something and it sounded like trellis. So record it. Listen to it over and over and over again. It will make sense to you. It just might not make sense at that particular moment. Spirit gives you what you need when you need it. Okay? So we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back in a few minutes. So I want to talk to you more about readings. Again, feel free to call in now that I figured out how to do this. And it's 301-429-9247. I would love to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to scroll down here and see if the people that are watching me live have any questions. But we're going to continue to talk about how to choose a medium and what to expect in a reading. So I'll be right back. Thank you.
If you're a product of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, or wish that you were, then you'll want to step inside Hip Gypsy Emporium for a trip back in time. We're a kindred spirits treasure trove located in the former Duffield School in Chambersburg. We offer home, garden, and vintage, clothing and jewelry, soaps and fragrances, teas and honeys, oils and crystals, products from local vendors and artisans, and Christmas items 365 days a year. Hip Gypsy Emporium, located at 2168 Mont Alto Road in Chambersburg.
You don't have to pick it up, but you're live.
Hi, this is Stacy, and I'm back. So, what we're talking about is choosing a medium. Have you ever thought about going to a medium, connecting with your loved ones, or looking for direction? So, we talked about how to prepare for that, asking friends and family members for referrals for mediums, checking out their webpage, checking out their Facebook, participating in their lives when they do live angel card readings, just asking around about them, setting the appointment, how to prepare for it by talking to your loved ones, taking things with you that prepares you. So I wanted to, and we talked about also recording it. So I also wanted to talk to you about how often should you go to a medium. The best answer for that is you'll know when you need to go back to see a medium, okay? When I'm finished with a client and they want to make an appointment with me right away, I'll say to them, I want you to go home and process what I just said to you. When you're ready, call me and we'll set something up. Sometimes when you go to a medium, it's almost like you use it as a crutch. You want angel cards on every single decision that you ever want to make. I'll have people that message me, can you pull a card for me? I have this job interview. Can you let me know if I should take the job? My advice to you, go on the interview, see how it goes, make your decision. You have free will. I can say to you, oh yes, take this job. And then the job is not what you wanted because of a circumstance, a particular circumstance. Well, that medium told me to go. It doesn't work that way, okay? You have free will. You need to learn to make your own decisions. However, if you've lost a loved one and you're grieving and you want to reconnect with them and just have that validation around you, go and see a medium. It's not for everyone, but it does help in the healing process. If you've been struggling with something for a while, let's say every time you turn around, it's just like, bad things just continue to happen. There's all these roadblocks that are set up in front of you. Go and see a medium. Go and see a psychic. Have your cards read. So angel cards, tarot cards, whatever they prefer. And they'll show you kind of where your spin cycle is. And when I talk about a spin cycle, you know how Einstein says that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result? Well, that's kind of what your spin cycle is. What are you constantly doing that's putting you in the exact same position that you're in? Maybe you have trust issues. Remember, I pulled that one card that said trust. So do you have trust issues with trust in your own instincts? Or when friends come or when you meet new people, you have so much distrust that you make them jump through hoops until they've passed your test. So the angel cards will tell you those things. And sometimes it's that hard truth that maybe you don't want to face. But when you've got someone else telling you this is what the situation is, it helps. I myself, I go to a medium. I am a medium, but I go to a medium. I don't go often, but we were just in upstate New York a couple weeks ago, and we visited Lilydale, and it's a spiritual community, and there's a lot of mediums that are there on site. So what I did was I contacted one of the mediums, and I went in to see him, and I didn't tell him that I was a medium, but as he's pulling cards and talking to me, and the way he did things, he would, say my name and he would shake my hand. He wanted my energy, and then he would tell me things, and after a while he was like, oh my goodness, you're a medium. And it was just that validation. My mom came through. I sat in on a gallery reading when we were in upstate New York at a psychic fair. And granted, I had my, I wear a top hat a lot and, fringe. So I kind of stuck out a little bit. But she was over on our side, and I was asking my mom to come through. And she goes, oh, I have this really strong mom figure over in this area. And she started explaining things, and she asked if it resonated with anyone. And I raised my hand, but the woman right in front of her raised her hand, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't me. So she talked to her, and she said, after she was finished talking to her, she said, I still have this mom figure. Did it resonate with anyone else? And I raised my hand, and she came over, and she started talking to me. And I had to kind of cut ties with a certain family member a couple years ago. And it's not that I feel guilty about it, because I've given this person so many chances. I love them. I would do anything in the world for them, but I can't allow them to speak to me the way that they used to speak to me. So I kind of just broke away and moved away from them, energy-wise, face-to-face wise. And my mom came through and said, and mentioned this person and said, you were right by doing that. It helped your energy grow. So it was validation from my mom that me moving away from this person was the best thing for us. I had a question here. It said, so someone said here that they wanted to see a medium, but they had money issues. It stinks. I pray that I get there. Unfortunately, or mediums, they've got a gift. It's time, it's energy, so there is a charge. Know that if you're having money issues, maybe right now is not the time for you to go to a medium. Things will fall into place. Manifest it. Ask for it to be put in your path, and when it is your time, you'll have the money to go. Okay? So, Elaine, I hope that kind of helps you with that. So what we were talking about was, what mediums will tell you and how often you need to go and see a medium. You'll know. Trust your gut instincts. But know that most mediums will not set up weekly appointments or monthly appointments with you, because they don't want to be that crutch for you. There is a grieving process that we all need to go through. We need to let go of that person who is in spirit. And if you continually go to a medium, it makes that grieving process harder. So getting the validation, realizing that even though they're not still with you here on earth, their spirit is still with you. It's energy. They're around you. Okay? So when I talk to my angels, I wanted to bring that up as well. There are different angels that mean different things. So if Archangel Raphael comes through, and of course he would come through on my left side, and usually when he comes through I see green, and like a green light. Archangel Raphael is the healer. So I know that he is offering you healing. And they'll generally let me know if it's like the healing of the heart, or if there's something that's going on with you that they're giving you healing. Archangel Michael. And Michael and Raphael are around me the most. Michael is the archangel that's on the right hand of God. He is that protector. He's the one that if you have a hard decision to make, you call on Michael. Or Vanessa. Vanessa also helps with that. She's not an archangel, but I'm a very visual person. So when I feel like I want to throw punch someone, I'll visualize Archangel Michael. And it's basically, I visualize John Travolta, and he's walking in front of me. He's got the overcoat on. The overcoat comes off. The wings come out, and I smell chocolate chip cookies. All of a sudden, I'm not angry anymore. I've got a man who is dancing in front of me, bringing me chocolate chip cookies. So it lets me know that he's taking that anger and he's handling it. Archangel Gabriel, that's the archangel that I call on when I do a reading, because she's the communicator. She helps you to say the things that need to be said. I was doing a reading one time, and in my mind I saw binoculars. And instead of saying binoculars, I said kaleidoscope. And it kind of surprised me, and I remember looking at the woman and saying, I saw binoculars, but for some reason I said kaleidoscope. And she said, my grandmother used to collect kaleidoscopes. So what I see is one thing, what I say is another thing. So know that when I call in Archangel Gabriel, that's who's going to help me communicate the things to you. If you have problems communicating with someone about something, call in Archangel Gabriel right here at the throat chakra, okay? And she'll help you to bring that in. I have another call. Let me see if I can figure this out. Hi, this is Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Did you have a question?
I'm sorry.
Did you have a question?
Yes.
Call in Archangel Gabrielle,
Okay.
right here at the throat chakra.
And what is your question?
And she'll help you to bring...
I just wanted to...
I have another call. Let me see if I can figure this out.
I'm hearing the feedback from the back room. I don't know if you're hearing that as well.
Okay.
But go ahead. What is your question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have
Did you have a question?
She has another caller. I'm sorry.
Did you have a question?
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure what that was about. But if you do have a question, call in 301-429-9247. So, new calls, voicemail. Okay. So feel free to call in and have your question ready. I have someone saying that they need to make another appointment with me. To make an appointment with me, you can text me, you can call me, you can message me, you can email me, and we will set an appointment up. So, Tracy, I see that, and just let me know, and we'll set up an appointment for you. So we were talking about archangels. There are like Ariel, Archangel Ariel. I swear Archangel Ariel is all around my youngest daughter. That is the gatekeeper of the animals. If you are an animal lover, Archangel Ariel is the one that is going to be around you, helping you with the animals. There's Archangel Uriel brings in peace and joy. So call in the archangels. And there's like 15 main archangels, but there literally are thousands of angels. You'll know what angel you need. And even if you don't know their name, that's okay. Just call the angels in that what you need. If you're struggling about, you need some joy in something, ask for help with that. I call on the angels because angels and guides will let me know where you're at and what's going on with you. So, there's the lioness of God. And like I said, that's Ariel, the lioness, taking care of the animals. Azrael, that's who helps God. Shemiel, that's who sees God. Metatron and Raziel, they are like the keepers of the secrets or of the past books of heaven. So if you have questions about your past life, if you just want to have some answers from God, that's where you go. I had lost my train of thought. Here's something I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm human. How do I say this? So, when I prepare for a reading, if you're skeptical about it, skeptics sometimes get surprises. I just ask that you be very open about receiving information. If you come in and you totally don't believe, you're sitting there with your arms crossed, you're not saying anything, don't waste your money, don't go to a medium. Okay? So I had a woman who got in touch with me a couple times. She had lost her daughter, and she wanted to reconnect with her daughter, but she was concerned that her daughter wouldn't come through. And it was through a FaceTime. I'll do FaceTime messages if you are not in the Pennsylvania area or you're not in Maryland. And so I said to her, what you can do, send me a picture of your daughter. Give me her first name. If you don't want to give me her name, that's fine. Just send me a picture of your daughter. And instead of me meditating on you and your name, I'm going to meditate on your daughter, and I'm going to ask her to come through. Because I can't guarantee who's going to come through for you. If you see a medium and they say, oh, absolutely, I can bring everybody through for you, that's not the medium for you. Spirit gives you what you need when you need it. So she sent me this picture of her daughter. And I had it on my phone. And I printed it out, and I'm looking at this, and I look into the eyes. And all of a sudden I believe I got her name or the initial of her first name. And I got that she was like this very silly personality type person. But as she's showing me that, she's also showing me some, not anger, some confusion that she had about life. And it was almost like a bipolar tendency. And she had left me know that she had passed from an overdose. So when I got her mom on the phone and I set my intention, I did my medicine cards, I did my angel cards, and I said to her, when I was meditating on your daughter, she gave me, let's just say A, that her name starts with A, and it feels like it's a short name, so it's Anna or Ann. And she was like, yes, my daughter's name is Ann. And I said, I feel like she had this very bubbly personality. But I also feel like there was a lot of sorrow with her. And can I ask you, would it be fair to say that she would take responsibility for her own passing? And she said, yes. And I said, she's showing me that there's drugs and alcohol involved. And she said, yes. And I said, did your daughter pass of a heroin overdose? And she said, yes. And she instantly started to cry. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Know that when you have a reading, crying is usually part of it. I have plenty of tissues. If you need to pause, just let me know. We'll pause, because sometimes it can be very overwhelming. So she said, I was so afraid that my daughter wouldn't come through. And I said, well, why is that? And she said, when my daughter passed, my priest told me that my daughter was in hell. So she had contemplated back and forth whether to have a reading with a medium because she didn't want the realization that her daughter may be in hell. First off, I only deal in love and light. So if your spirit comes through and talks to me, They're not in hell. Second of all, people don't know what to say when you lose a loved one. They'll say stupid things. You know, I'm so sorry. They're in a better place. You know, if there's a... And we had a show on this. To me, the priest telling this mother who just lost her daughter that her daughter was in hell is so wrong. It's just so wrong. This is a man of God, a man of the cloth. Please don't say that. Okay? As a medium, I have spoken to several people who have passed on through horrific deaths, car accidents, motorcycle accidents, cancer, addiction, and suicide. They come through. A lot of times when it's suicide or an addiction that they overdosed, they were so tormented here on earth that it wasn't the coward way out. To them, it felt like it was the only way out. They just wanted the pain, the agony, the torture to end. They didn't know how to walk through it. Or they felt like they were a burden and they didn't want to be a burden anymore. So know that if your loved one has overdosed or committed suicide, yes, it was their choice, but they felt like that was their only choice. Okay? So I believe I've got another call. Hold on. Hi, this is Stacy.
Hi, Stacey. I was calling to get some information.
Okay, and what type of information did you need?
It was in regards to something, I guess a radio or it's a new broadcast with Pastor Kimberly Edwards Russell. Just trying to see if I'm able to view it online instead of Facebook. Would I be able to use another platform?
I believe so. This is a call-in show right now. I'm live with Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. So probably what you'll need to do is go on Facebook and scroll down to it until you see that that show. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So that wasn't a question about my show. That was a question about another show, but that's okay. So I just want to emphasize to you, if you have lost a loved one through addictions or through suicide, it's not that I don't believe in hell, but for a human to tell you that, don't listen to it. God, the Father, is the only one that can decide ascension. Okay? And know that sometimes when a loved one passes through those means, that it takes them a little bit longer to transition, especially if it is a drug overdose. Because when you are of this earth and you are using drugs, you're in like a clouded state. So when you pass, you're still in that clouded space. And sometimes it takes you a little while in spirit to realize that you have passed. And there are angels and there are loved ones, and of course God is there helping you to transition. So I apologize to you if anyone has ever said to you that your loved one was in hell because they committed suicide or because it was a drug overdose. I'm here to tell you I've talked to thousands, unfortunately, of people who have passed in that way. And the torment that they have on this earth, to me, is no different than having cancer. Because it's the torment of the mind, okay? And they honestly believe that this was their only way out. So me having this reading with this client gave her peace to know that her daughter was okay. And she said so many things to her that made her know that, Mom, there was nothing that you could have done. That, you know, drugs seemed to be like my out. And I know that you tried to help me. I should have listened. Different things like that. And that is That is the relief. That is the things that help the loved one get through a loss like that. But on the human side, if you have a friend that's dealing with something like that, just listen. Don't try to say all the little anecdotes. When people come to me and say, oh, I lost a loved one, I usually just hug them. That's the best thing to do. To me, this is my opinion. When my mom passed, and you know how they always had the long procession of people coming and paying their respects, people said the oddest things to me. But my uncle came to me, and tall farmer, and all he did was go, you know, and he hugged me. I will remember that for the rest of my life. I don't remember what some other people said to me, but that I remember him looking me in the eye, touching his chest and saying, you know. So I kind of got off the subject there, but if you're looking, let me come back. So if you're looking at setting an appointment with a medium, these are just some things to expect, and all mediums are different. You're not going to have the same experience in all cases. Go to group readings. I do group readings, and they're intimate group readings, and it's 10 people or less. And in the group reading, when I have a small group like that in someone's home, every person gets a reading, whether it's from spirit, whether it's from angels. And since it's intimate, they're able to ask me questions then as well. Or I can say to them, is this the main person that you wanted to come through, or were you looking for someone else? And if they're looking for someone else, I'll ask them the name, I'll write it down, and I'll try to pull them forward. That's the same thing with a private reading. It's just you and me, one-on-one, for an hour. So if you have questions, we can answer them. When you go to gallery readings, where there's 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people, you're not guaranteed a reading. Well, I guess you're never really guaranteed a reading. But you still listen to what's being said, because you will learn so much. Even if your mom didn't come through or your friend didn't come through, you're going to hear something that's going to ring a bell with you, that's going to give you that relief, that's going to help you to walk through your healing. And maybe if you're not sure whether to go see a medium or not, maybe go to a group reading first and see how that is. Or go to a small group reading and then book a private. But read the reviews of the medium. Again, I have Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. I have a group as well as a page. And I'm asking my clients, if you've had a reading from me before, go on my page and review me. I love to read what people say. And it helps other people decide whether they want to see a medium or not. But review them, ask around, talk to your loved ones, ask them to come in, look at pictures, think about different things that you have questions about. Maybe make some questions, take some paper and pencil, ask the medium if it's okay if you record the session. It's your session. I can't imagine any medium would say no, that it's not okay. And know that if after you do all of that, if it doesn't feel right, it's not your time. It may never be your time. You may never be comfortable seeing a medium, and that's okay as well. But trust your gut instincts. Know that your loved ones are around you in spirit. They're sending you signals. They're sending you messages. Just validate that you see them and ask them for more. And sometimes that's enough for people, that they don't need to talk to their loved one. But if you feel like you do, reach out, contact a medium, and go and see one. If it's not a good experience, maybe see another one, okay? But, if I could just, it does my heart. I feel so blessed for so many people when I'm able to connect with their loved ones. I just feel so blessed that I'm able to give them that relief, give them that connection, give them that peace of mind. And if it's something that you're looking for, reach out, contact me. I would love to do a reading for you. Know that your loved one is just a whisper away. They're not here physically, but they're here spiritually. I pray that each and every one of you are loving the life you live, and you're living the life you love, and if not, you're the only one that can change it. I hope that this session, this show helped you understand a little bit more what happens when you schedule a reading. Feel free to message me with questions, put them in the comments, and I promise you I will get back to you. I will answer you in one way or another. It might take me a couple days, but I will get back to you. And next week, I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about. If you have suggestions, let me know. I'm kind of in my head thinking about talking about how to manifest things and how to set your intentions. But if you have any suggestions, this is not just my show, it's your show as well. So I welcome any suggestions that you have, and would love to have more calls for the call-ins. That was great with the questions that came in. And I hope you all have a great Tuesday, a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And I will talk to you next Tuesday, 10:30, right here, WBGR, and with Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. So I'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Have a great day.